So I've been on a bit of a prehistory kick lately, and as you can see from the images on screen, I'm absolutely captivated by cave art. Paleolithic art is absolutely fantastic, Neolithic art, cave art. So I've decided I'm going to transfer some of this beautiful art to cake form. So I'm going to do a 6-inch carrot cake, and the recipe is on screen right now. It does create two 9-inch layers, so if you want to reduce it, just reduce the recipe. So I'm just going to stack it with some vanilla buttercream. You've seen me bake these cakes on all of my other videos, so I'm just going to skip straight to the stacking. And like I said, it's vanilla buttercream, so I'm just going to smooth it on, add my layers, and then once that's nice and stacked, add a skewer for stability, smooth in the squeeze out, and then pop that in the freezer until firm. Once chilled, I'm then going to take some more of my buttercream and give this cake a good crumb coat. Now, again, you all know what crumb coat is if you're watching this. If you don't, it basically is just a thin layer of buttercream intended to keep the worst of the crumbs in, so that when you do your final coat, none of that is messing up your beautiful buttercream finish. So this just gets smoothed in, the edges cleaned up, and back into the fridge to chill. Final coat is more of the same. I just put more of that vanilla buttercream on, smooth it all in, scrape the sides, and then tidy up the top. But the top does not need to be quite as sharp and perfect on this cake, because I kind of want it to keep a little bit of a rough look, and you'll see why later. Now, as you can see here, I'm unwrapping the cake like a bizarre burrito with from aluminium foil. Now, I applied this when that buttercream final coat was still soft, and then chilled it, and it's going to give me a nice kind of rough, rocky texture, as you can see here. So with these little stencils I've made out of paper, I'm going to use some petal dust in this lovely sort of orangey red colour, kind of to mimic red ochre. And if you know anything about prehistoric art or prehistory in general, our distant ancestors absolutely loved ochre. So I'm going to use it to decorate my cake. Now, they do think that these probably would have been stenciled and covered with paint by blowing it through a tube. I didn't think that was particularly sanitary, so I'm just going to stipple it on with a brush. Now, with more of that petal dust, this time a black, mixed with some vegetable oil to create a thick paint, I'm going to start adding the first of my cave painting animals. And hopefully it will resemble the painting. This is going to be a giant deer or a megaloceros. They are an extinct genus of deer that had absolutely enormous antlers, and this one is a beautiful painting from Lascaux, I believe the name is, but if I've butchered that, please do let me know. So I'm just going to go around, paint him in, and I really enjoyed doing this, actually. It was actually quite... it was strange, it was humbling. It kind of made me feel connected to those people in caves 30,000 years ago painting these animals on cave walls. I bet they'd be absolutely mystified by what I'm doing here. But after those, I do go in and start my next animal. You probably saw I did a couple of aurochs just to fill some space. Now this one I'm going to paint with that sort of reddish ochre for the outline. And this is going to be the pudgiest horse I've ever drawn. Not that I've drawn a lot of horses. But again, this is one from... and do excuse me, Lascaux, and it's a beautiful, beautiful horse painting that I'm actually going to change very slightly. Please forgive me, distant ancestors. I didn't want to add all of that reddish paint, so I'm actually going to stipple in some spots, as I've seen with other examples of horse cave paintings, and I think it turned out very pretty. Now, I didn't film all of it, but I did go around painting in animals and more handprints and even little human stick figures here and there, just to create my version of a painted cave on a cake. So after that, I'm going to make a couple of fondant accents, and this is a stone lamp. Now, they do believe that many of these cave paintings would have been painted by candlelight, by lamplight rather, by campfire light. And these stone lamps were essentially, they would have had a lump of fat or oil or something burning in them, and it would have created this little flickering lamp. And can you imagine being deep underground or deep in a cave painting by this flickering lamplight? It would have been something else. So I also made this flint arrowhead, and this one is getting a little bit late for me. It's getting a little bit close to the Bronze Age potentially arrowheads, but knapped flint to me is so perfect and so indicative of prehistory that I had to add one. So I'm going to add my little lamp on top, and I'm going to push a little candle through, and that's how I'm going to simulate my lamp. And I do apply the flint just here, but I do change that later because I decide it's not the best location. And that's it. That's my painted Neolithic cake. And I do hope my distant ancestors, whomever they were, are proud of me. So enjoy as it rotates, flickering in the campfire light, my Neolithic cake. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys again soon.